So next up is the keynote speaker of the evening. That's going to be Ambassador Dennis Ross. And I've heard many stories from Mohammed as he was growing up as a young activist in Sudan. Ambassador Ross was one of his true idols. In fact, he received a signed copy of one of his books when he was growing up in Sudan. That book is called The Missing Piece. And since then, Ambassador Ross has been synonymous with peace building in the region. He's served as a lead envoy and a special advisor overseeing the region for Presidents H.W. Bush, President Clinton, and President Obama. And now he's a distinguished fellow at the Washington Institute. So please help us welcoming Ambassador Dennis Ross.
So I don't remember how many months ago it was that you came to see me in my office. And these guys come in. I don't really know who they are. And when they walk in, I kind of look at my watch and say, I got some time, okay. So, all right, why are you here? I think I opened in I'm a long-time diplomat, so I was highly subtle in terms of how I opened up. I said, so why are you here? And to use a diplomatic term, I listened to Mohammed for maybe a minute, and I was blown away. And I said, now I know why I'm here. The truth is, on a night like this, you really don't need to listen to someone like me. Now, your story is much more compelling than anything I can say. I mean, what you embody is an inspiration and a sign of the human spirit at its best. I've spent a lot of time trying to deal with the issue of peace in the Middle East. You can see how successfully. One of the reasons that there isn't peace in the Middle East is because everybody is in love with their own narrative. Nobody has the capacity to sort of hear the other side and realize that there are real needs, real grievances, real wounds that have to be addressed. You have a conflict that feeds on itself. Actually, Mohammed, you said it, but I'll say it slightly differently. The Las Vegas rules don't apply, right? The Las Vegas rules say what takes place here stays here. Well, in the Middle East, what takes place there never stays there. We're not insulated from it. We're not free from it. The idea that when you have humanitarian catastrophes that they don't affect us, that they don't somehow diminish our own humanity, is an illusion. So here comes an organization that, in a sense, says we don't have to settle. We don't have to settle for this conflict. We don't have to accept that conflict is the norm. What was called the Arab Spring is something I never accepted as a terminology. Because the Arab Spring sent this message that, we're going to produce democracy in 6 weeks. The 6 weeks it takes for a flower to bloom, we're going to produce democracy. That was never going to happen. But what it reflected was a loss of fear and a sense that people could be empowered. Now, unfortunately, it produced terrible backlashes, terrible conflicts. And now those conflicts have created a loss of hope. And it's the loss of hope that makes it difficult to take on these kinds of challenges. So along you come, and you're the embodiment of hope. You're the embodiment of a sense of spirit that says, no, we don't give in. I'm told I can't deal with Israelis, or I can't talk to Jews. No, I won't give in to that. And you offer, first, an organization that is designed to, in a sense, identify the other people like you. As you said, you're not alone. But somehow the people who feel like you have to be identified. Somehow the people who feel like you have to know there are others like them. Somehow they have to know that they can connect with others. Somehow they have to know that if they develop a network and they have a voice, they will be heard. And, we're living in a city right now where I wouldn't say hope is the most predominant description of the reality here. But, that's actually an argument for this kind of an organization. when you can't find the answers through the traditional means of government, well, then the answer is with us, and we don't stop. You know, the Middle East right now is characterized not just by conflict, it's characterized by a loss of identity, a struggle for who should define identity. When I hear people say it's a war between civilizations, no, it's not. It's a war within Islam, and there are those who are prepared to promote tolerance and coexistence and a respect for minority rights, the one thing that is completely missing in the Middle East, a respect for minority rights. If you could cross that threshold, you'd suddenly find that peace between Arabs and Israelis would look a lot different than it does. So what you represent is a spirit and a sense of purpose. And Mark, you said something I think profoundly important to people here. You know, whatever you're doing, whatever your occupation is, you should search for meaning in your lives. Some people are lucky enough to have it in terms of what they do as part of their life. Others will have a job which, you know, they believe in and so forth, but it doesn't necessarily give them a purpose in their life. Here's an organization that can give you a purpose in your life. You know, it's one thing for people here to ask for your money, which obviously organizations don't exist without money. But it's something else for you not only to give money, but to actually give of your time. And to think as you give of your time that you're part of something larger than yourself. That gives meaning and purpose to your life, when you are part of something that is larger than yourself. So you guys came in to see me, and I'm going, okay, I'm going to meet some millennials. I actually tend to teach them. And you came in and you taught me. And you reminded me what are the things that I consider to be important. And, you know, I hope that everybody who's here will recognize that you're looking at not only a special person, but you're looking at an interesting collection of younger people who've decided they're not going to settle. They're not going to accept. They can change things. And they're not going to wait for the world to change. They're going to change the world. So, you know, you thank me for coming out tonight. I thank you for being who you are. And I thank the collective of you for sitting on your couches and realizing that with social media, you can do a lot. You know, we may not change everything overnight, but if we make a collective sense of a collective commitment to making change and producing it and making this part of how you define purpose in your life, then I'll have a lot of confidence that in time, a lot of the things that I've tried to produce over time may yet materialize. So thank you very much.